All right, let's dive right in. We're going to talk about a massive shift happening right now. Artificial intelligence. It isn't just another app or piece of software for the workplace. Nope. It's actually redesigning the entire thing from the inside out. So, let's get into what that really means for you and your company.
I mean, just think about your own job for a minute. Are you seeing new tools pop up? Are decisions being made in a totally different way? For more and more of us, the answer is a big yes. AI isn't some far-off future thing anymore. It is here, right now, actively changing how we work.
And we really need to be clear about this. We're not just talking about a better autocorrect. This is a deep, fundamental shift. AI is changing the very DNA of companies. It's rewriting the rules for how they're built, how they function, and, ultimately, how they win.
So, to really wrap our heads around all this, let's start by breaking down what this shakeup actually looks like. What are the real, tangible changes that AI is bringing to the office every day?
Okay, so this is the core idea. When we say AI-induced change, we're talking about a complete overhaul. It's not just one thing. It's hitting the org chart, it's changing the daily grind in your workflows, and it's even affecting the company culture. The unwritten rules about how things get done.
This really paints a before and after picture, doesn't it? In the old way, a lot of big decisions were based on gut feelings and intuition. Now, it's all about data-driven choices. And those rigid, step-by-step workflows we're all used to, they're being replaced by nimble, automated processes that can change on the fly. And forget one size fits all. We're moving to a world of super personalized experiences.
So what's really pushing all this forward? Well, it boils down to three main things. First, AI is taking over the boring, repetitive stuff. Second, it's like having a super smart analyst on your team, finding hidden patterns in data that we'd never see. And third, it lets companies connect with customers on a totally personal level.
Okay, this technology is obviously super powerful, but what about us, the people who actually have to use it? Let's try to solve this people puzzle and figure out where humans fit in this new AI-driven world.
Now, this is maybe the biggest misconception out there. It's not really about robots coming to take all the jobs. It's about changing the kind of work we do. By automating all the mundane stuff, AI basically frees us up to focus on the things that we humans are uniquely good at. Thinking strategically, solving tricky problems, and being creative.
So what skills do you actually need to thrive? Well, it's a mix. On one side, you're going to need some tech skills. Understanding data, knowing the basics of how machine learning works, that's huge. But maybe even more important are the classic human skills, critical thinking, creativity, and here's a new one, learning how to actually work with AI as a creative partner. But look, this kind of change isn't always a walk in the park. It's totally natural for people to push back, they worry about their jobs, they get confused by all the new tech, and sometimes they just don't see what the big deal is. The first step for any company trying to make this work is just to acknowledge that those fears are real.
And that brings us to, honestly, the most important piece of the puzzle. Because you can buy the fanciest AI and train your people on all the latest skills, but if your company culture isn't ready for it, well, none of it is going to stick.
This right here is the main takeaway. Bringing AI into your organization is less of a tech problem and more of a people problem, a culture problem. Whether it works or fails really comes down to the company's mindset and whether people are truly willing to adapt.
So, what does a good AI-ready culture actually look like? Well, it's a place that encourages people to experiment, where it's okay to fail as long as you learn something. It's a place where everyone is always learning, where teams work together, and where big decisions are backed by data. And crucially, it's a place that puts ethical, responsible AI front and center.
So who makes this happen? It has to come from the top. Leaders need to be the biggest cheerleaders. They need to paint a really clear picture of where the company is going and why. And most importantly, they have to walk the talk. They have to model this new way of working themselves.
All right, last section, let's get super practical. We've talked about the what's and the whys. Now let's talk about the how. This is basically the playbook for anyone trying to manage this massive change.
Okay, first things first, let's be real about the roadblocks. This stuff is technically complex, and it can be really expensive. You've also got that powerful, but we've always done it this way feeling, that inertia. And then there are the really tough questions about data privacy and bias. These are the big hurdles you're definitely going to face.
So how do you get over those hurdles? This 4-step plan is a pretty solid guide. 1, create a vision. You have to explain why this is so important. 2, empower your team. That means training, support, and actually getting them involved. 3. Go for some quick wins. Start small, show that it works, and build some momentum. And finally, number 4, make it stick. Weave this new way of thinking right into the company's DNA.
At the end of the day, that's the whole game right there. A smart strategy doesn't just try to crush resistance, it flips the script. It turns that resistance into engagement, and it takes all that uncertainty and reframes it as a huge opportunity for everyone to grow.
And that leaves us with one last big question to think about. Being more efficient is great, of course, but is that all there is? As we bring AI into every part of our work, the real challenge isn't just to be faster, it's to use this incredible technology to build smarter, more creative, and just plain better organizations. Thanks for tuning in.